So, Diablo finally got implemented into the Isle again, huh? What, do you want me to discuss about it? Look, as much as I love Diablo Ceratops, and trust me I do, I already said that I quit dinosaur games. Go bother Goldfish or Player Zero, whoever I'd rather not. I frankly do not care. I'm done. I've been replaced, and here's the contract to prove it. Who is it this time? The tier list is canceled. It's not coming out.
Greetings, Ski. It's me.
Golden Freddy?
What? No, it's me, KingFisher. Are you that burnt out to the point that you need to make FNAF jokes?
It's you. Wait, hey, you're that new creator on the block of Dinosaurs, yeah? Well, you know, Fish, you're walking to a losing battle, you know. Just look at Moza. That guy's a fucking husk.
Look, Ski, we need you back. Sumo just quit his channel, Murph's going AWOL, and we're losing tubers from burnout. We're desperate, and we can use your help to keep this shitty game genre alive.
Look, buddy, that sounds great and all, but I don't think you got my memo.
I don't do that anymore. I'm retired.
Mostly just tired.
Answer me this, Fisher. What could possibly get me back on the grind set? Tell me, I am all ears.
Dude, check the news. It doesn't matter what channel.
The Isle. I talked a lot about the Isle over the years. Even played it quite a bit too. Those hours do not lie. And after being with this game with nearly, oh god, it's nearly a decade old, there's always something new to this game to check out. Perhaps it's a new dinosaur, some questionable changes, perhaps even a safe felony or two. This game's kind of like a big multi-season television show. The beginning is pretty rough. Sometimes the filler can be pretty boring, but the ending is usually pretty hype, whether for better or worse. And right now, Evrima's in a pretty big drought at the moment, but the drought it's in is pretty decent. Wouldn't call the game great, hell, even argue calling it good, but there's a game there. And you know what? After the past 5 years, that's the best say it's probably in at the moment. And for how the franchise is going to be going from here on out, I can't really say. But the content on the horizon does look pretty cool. And that content are the upcoming releases of the next few dinosaurs. Of course, there's the Elder System and the new UI, which does look great, but we haven't got an update in that for quite a while, so who knows when that's happening. You have the two big lugs, Tyrannosaurus Rex and Triceratops, being our first apexes being implemented into Evrima. Then you have Cantosaurus, which is not only a creature I really like, but it's a brand new herbivore and a whole new species being introduced into the game for the first time. Then you have Ostractor and Baryonyx, two semi-aquatic piscivores which had a massive facelift, and because of that facelift, they have gotten a humongous amount of feedback in a very positive light for them. Baryonyx in particular being arguably, in my opinion, the best designed carnivore Afterthought has made in their entire 10-year run of the Isle. And then there's that one theropod, the one carnivore that everyone loves. Big Al. Allosaurus. I, the brother in purple, actually really like Allosaurus. He's not one of my favorite dinosaurs, and he's also not my top 10. And he definitely isn't my favorite member of the Allosauridae superfamily, that being my goat Acrocanthosaurus. But with all that being said, it's Allosaurus. What else do I possibly say? He's cool as shit. And he has been in a lot of shit, to the point where nowadays we regard Allosaurus as a household name creature, which is pretty cool. And I can totally see why the likeness of this animal is as big as it is. And there's a lot of things to like about Allosaurus. He's from the Jurassic period, he has a very striking appearance and silhouette compared to the rest of his compatriots of theropods. He was kind of the first of his kind of being the first super predator. No, not you. Definitely not you. Hey! No, getting close. Closer. There we go, that's what I like to see. See, I meant super predator that was bipedal, okay? And like what I said earlier, Allosaurus has showed up in plenty of media over the years, and a lot of it was pretty good, and a lot of it's kind of bad. The first thing Allosaurus showed up in was The Lost World in 1925. Yeah, that movie hit 100 years old this year. Are you old yet? He showed up in Land of the Lost. You know, that movie where they blew him up with an air tank? Starring some of Hollywood's most cracked out actors, Will Ferrell and Danny McBride. He was in When Dinosaurs Roamed America. He was there. Do you remember Jurassic Fight Club? Do you remember how much they hated Ceratosaurus? Remember how much they glazed any carnivore that was on screen that wasn't Ceratosaurus?
Is what we call the slash and dash.
Do you remember how much the Allosaurus hated the Ceratosaurus?
Allosaurus, fuck yeah!
Do you remember how the Allosaurus was glazed so much it was like Dunkin' Donuts up in that bitch? Are you noticing a pattern here, friends? America runs on Dunkin'. Well, Jurassic Fight Club runs on that Allosaurus dick. The design on that show, by the way, is ass. It's so bad. Bury that shit back in the ground. Thank you. Ah, here he is, Broken Jaw, one of my favorite iterations of the animal media. He was from Dinosaur Revolution. What's cool about him is that he's not only based off of a real-life fossil, which they dedicated an entire episode to, but he's also based on the Portugal species of Allosaurus, which is really cool. Allosaurus had a bit of a cameo in one of my favorite dinosaur documentaries, Planet Dinosaur, that came out in 2011. And of course, Allosaurus shows up here hunting a Camptosaurus with some very nice colors and a nice model. Of course, Jurassic Park had to pick up Allosaurus in some sort of way, so he made his grand debut in Fallen Kingdom, you know, that trash-ass movie. He also was in Jurassic World Dominion for a little bit. He had a little fight scene with Carnotaurus and Malta. And of course, he was in the short film Battle at Big Rock, where he got the Daredevil treatment. I also love Allo's design in the Evolution games. He looks so cool. Allo is an Ark, even though he needs a bit of a touch-up. He's very outdated. Thank God Paleark exists. It's this piss stain off my goddamn screen. He plays like shit, he is shit, he sounds like shit, he's boring as shit in general. No one likes this creature. He is literally the worst dinosaur, and this is coming from someone who spent 10 hours growing this thing on official. If I had the power to erase anything out of existence, this motherfucker would be at the top of the list, because I'd never want to see this stupid fucking thing ever again! And who can't forget Walking with Dinosaurs? This is the Paleo documentary. There will never be another documentary to document as much as this documents. I adore this documentary, from the aesthetics, the music, the animatronics, the stories, everything. The grand scope of this show is wonderful, and this is coming from someone who never watched the show as a kid. I literally watched the entire series back to back this year in May. And of course, this show gave us the story of Big Al, the most famous and iconic variant of Allosaurus, with a very cool design, which looks really goofy nowadays, but I still love it. It's so cool. Even if he has a super dopey looking head, I love the colors in this guy, and the sound design on the Allosaurus in this show is wonderful. But that leaves us with one last Allosaurus, and I think y'all know who that is. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, the Isle's Allosaurus is my personal favorite design in media. And why exactly that is, it's a bit complicated to say the least. To put it bluntly, I think the Isle's Allo rocks. And to explain why I think so in the best possible way, I'm gonna do an overview of 3 different categories of what I think makes Allo so special in the Isle, with those being the physical anatomy of this creature, the conceptual idea, and the overall sound design. Let's kick this conversation off with talking about the actual design of the animal itself. By nature, Allo's anatomy is very simple, but also can be very flexible. You could play by the books and be accurate to the holotype, you could be just a simple design in general, or you can be a bit more monstrous. As long as he keeps his well-known physical traits, like his large crests, he will always be depicted and known as the Allosaurus in that type of media. And I think if you want to go for a paleo design, you want to go for the middle choice. Being simple, but also taking some creative liberties to make your design feel very distinct, and it is appropriately to your liking. No one should be afraid to take some creative liberties on really anything, as long as it stays faithful. Because you can for sure tell when a design works if you look at a black and white silhouette of the creature, or really anything, and you can tell exactly what that is from. Or if you really want to, you could make something that is completely by the books. But if I'm gonna be honest here, paleontology is already shaky enough as it is, and anything can change in a matter of seconds. We all know what happened to Saurophaganax earlier this year, where it went from being the large known allosaur that it was, to a goddamn sauropod. What kind of Mickey Mouse bullshit is this? And if you want even more proof than that, then look at Spinosaurus. This man has a fucking identity crisis. Every single year, Spino for some odd reason always gets changed with a new paper that's just written out of thin air, which makes X result into Y. And the cold hard reality of the situation is, we will never truly know what Spinosaurus really looked like in real life. Apologies for the tangent, but you get the idea where I'm coming from. I believe that the criteria you want to follow for paleo design is something that's faithful, distinct, and appealing. And how exactly does all of this result back to Isle's Allo? Well, simple. I think just he has this shit in spades. I believe I can speak on everyone's behalf that the Isle's Allo is just a classic. He has all the physical traits that we've been talking about for the past 8 minutes. He has the right teeth, he has the crests, he has the large arms, the correct build, the correct skull. He's very faithful. He's also very distinct because he isn't necessarily a very overcomplicated or under-designed, well, design. Allo works really well when it's just a simple design that upgrades the features of the original look. They didn't have to overcomplicate the design by giving him a shitload of osteoderms or underdeform his design where he's super strength wrapped. No, they kept it simple, they kept it faithful, and it looks super appealing. Fred and Bardo did a wonderful job of concepting and sculpting the physical appearance of Allosaurus in the Isle. Onto the actual concept design of the creature. Allo's concept takes his basic idea and basically simplifies it. Essentially, that means he took the role of the generic medium-sized theropod. And that's not a bad thing, if at all. His size makes him into a creature where he can't obviously scale the creatures way larger than him, but he can deal with anyone who's smaller than himself, including Raptor Packs, Cerato, Carno, and Baryonyx. Along with having good speed and damage, as well as having a very good ambush ability, he's able to get food for himself very well, and he's able to defend himself against anything that comes around to want to take said food. However, when it comes to anything bigger than him, like Acrocanthosaurus, Suchomimus, or any of the other apexes, it's probably just best for him to turn tail and run. But having such a good record of just stats and overall playability makes this creature a very successful animal just to play by yourself, and especially in a pack. And a pack can demonstrate that beautifully with Owl's grapple. Now in theory, the Allosaurus' grapple is not supposed to be a 1-to-1 to Raptor's pounce. Or I'm sorry, Raptor!
Are you sure?
Instead of pouncing and pinning larger targets down to the ground, Allo's grapple and concept is supposed to slow down the target and tag on as much bleed as it possibly can, until it dies from lacerations or exhaustion, akin to the real world of how wolves and painted dog packs hunt. And although we know that Allo can kill things efficiently with his own pounce to pin for smaller creatures, this is, I feel like, something that you're going to want to use for larger creatures, since Allo packs are going to need large quantities of food to stay alive. Albertosaurus, Maiasaura, Diabloceratops, Pachyrhinosaurus, and Parasaurolophus are all species of dinosaurs that could be reliably killed by a grappling pride of Allosaurus. And even an Acrocanthosaurus. Despite being a large predator, there is a chance that one could get caught slipping by a desperate and tenacious pride. The odds may be low, but the chance is not zero. Now, you may be wondering, what about apexes? And I'm gonna hold your hand and tell you this very softly. You're eating dirt. Stegosaurus may not be an apex herbivore, but it being able to clean one-shot majority of the cast and handle Carnos and Ceratos, which shouldn't even be fighting it to begin with ease, I don't see Allosaurus getting by scot-free from getting its head caved in. To be fair, Stegosaurus is a creature you can probably kill with a pack, but be warned, your balls are not safe. And if Deinosuchus can cart off 8-ton T-Rexes with ease, who the fuck you feeling like? If you want to put the fear of God into Deinosuchus, how about you play Spinosaurus when that comes out? And Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops, don't make me laugh. Red or blue, the 10-ton pissed off Cape Buffalo. Or, well, that. And finally, the sound design. If I'm gonna be honest here, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. Not to say anything is bad about the sound design. No, absolutely not, no. Allo's sound design in general is great. If there's one word I can describe Allosaurus as a whole, it is aggressive. A loud, abrasive, and yoked-up hunter that will do anything to get a meal. I've always pictured Allosaurus to have the personality of a sports jock. Someone with a cocky, showboating-esque ego to someone who will shut down the competition in any which way they can. And that, in my opinion, describes the creature perfectly, both in the game and in the real world. In Legacy, Allosaurus has a notorious reputation of being one of the most toxic and very aggressive playables in the entire game roster. Players would often form massive clans that dominate servers, just killing things left and right no matter what species they were, even their own kind. And Afterthought's Allosaurus sound design imbues all of this stuff we've been talking about perfectly. When you hear Allosaurus roar, you feel that aggression. You feel the tenacity. You feel how this thing's gonna fuck you up and he's gonna enjoy every second of it. When you hear the broadcast, you know exactly who that belongs to. And when Allo comes to Evrima, I hope that the sound design stays very much intact, because you can't mess up people. Oh. Never mind. So, there it is. My overall thoughts on Allosaurus in the Isle. I love this guy. I truly do. I think this is a worthy addition in the giant pantheon of Allosaurus designs in media. Is he perfect? In some ways, yes. In others, no. Not at all. Not for a damn second. Let this be a lesson to all of you that nothing is perfect in this world. Well, except for King K. Rool. He's perfection personified. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
A plan to get that crystal coconut away from those banana-munching mammals.
So all we gotta do now is just wait for the big guy to come to horde testing, and who knows, hopefully he comes in relatively balanced and well made. Or will he? If Allosaurus is as busted as he was when he first released back in Legacy, maybe the same thing can happen in horde test. Oh, come now. You think the Isle developers would ever screw up the release of an actual creature coming to the game? When was the last time they ever released a creature busted? Trust them with your dinosaur development. Hey, wait a minute. Allosaurus is seen to have the same exact Utah pounce the pin mechanic during the Rex leaks. Wait, no, they wouldn't abandon the grapple mechanic, would they? Oh god, oh man, I'm shivering me timbers. No, this can't be true! But I can't imagine it being that bad because it's being made by Afterthought. They usually deliver on everything they do. I mean, how bad could it possibly be? It's gonna fucking suck, isn't it?
Oh, we were right there, man!
Oh, fuck my life. Why am I not surprised? Before I move into the negatives, it's cool that we have a version of Allo to play around with. He feels like Allo. Yes, you know why this kind of sucks. Now, duly keep in mind, all this is not finished. Everything you see is under development. We are currently in horde testing branch with Allosaurus. Again, it is not a final product. I can understand, it's a little broken right now, but that is the point. It is in horde testing, so it can be ready for public release. Please keep that in mind. I see this all the time when I look in Isle chats and people bitching and complain that things are not ready. That is entirely the point. Yes, Dondi makes some really fucking weird balance choices, but right now, Allosaurus is just a case of a creature that got in horde test and is not finished. Please keep that in mind. Thank you. So, with that being said, as of right now, I think the incarnation of Evrima Allo is fine. There's things wrong with it, a lot of things wrong with it, but I think right now it is passable. To start with some of my positives, I like the sound design. It's relatively the same with a bit of animalistic tendency to it, which works really well. However, I still prefer the original sound design because there are some points in the call where it just sounds a little rough. Sounds like he has strep throat half the time. I think his patterns are pretty neat, especially the C. C looks really pretty, and B as well. I think the animation work is fine. The pounce is, questionable, but I'm not as harsh on it because it does look like the Pouncer walking with dinosaurs. I like the foot twitching bug and think it's quite, in quote, funny. Man, I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel for this shit. How many people are still here? Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm a little disappointed with Allosaurus right now. And yes, I know he's unfinished, but you can't deny for how much I was glazing Allosaurus earlier, I can feel like I'm a little disappointed what I've been seeing so far with him in the Isle. First and foremost, he doesn't have his traditional grapple like what we were theorizing. He just got a mechanically repurposed Utah Pounce pin, which is, okay, his bleed damage is majorly overtuned. What's the point of using the alt bite, which has a really cool animation, and the pretty awesome claw swipe attack when you can do while running, when the bite is right there and does infinitely more damage because of the DPS? And why the fuck is this Elder nearly 4 tons? I'm not surprised he's overtuned. This is kind of just the status quo when it comes out with anything that comes to Horde Test. But right now, he just feels like giant Utahraptor. And I think if you're gonna have Allosaurus, you know, the Lion of the Jurassic, in your dinosaur game, he should feel a lot more like his own creature and not just a giant Viltrumite dromaeosaur. However, this is Horde Test, and things can change on a dime anytime. So, hopefully in the end, things will pan out well. And with that, that is why Allosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs in the Isle. God, my voice hurts. I think I can go the rest of my life without having to go this in depth on this guy ever again. But that's really all I have for you guys. The Allosaurus video. There it is. After, oh god, too long working on this damn thing. But before I go, I want to say a few words on what I think the future holds for me in this channel. So, sit tight guys, we're almost done. Man, it has been a decent long time since I made an actual thorough video. It's been nothing but shit posts for a while, but I'll tell you what, it's been a damn good time coming back and doing a full-fledged video, especially one that didn't need to be as long as it did, but I do this shit because I care. It's my passion. Making videos makes me happy, and I love doing it. And for the first time in a long time, I could say with confidence that I don't think this channel is going to go anywhere. I'm not going to get too into it, but I know I pissed away a lot of time just not doing anything with the channel for the past few years. And that's a big shame because, you know, I think I had my place for a while, but over the years, due to just other shit that just kind of happened, I just found myself in a crossroads where I'm like, man, I don't really know what to do with the channel. Should I just let it die? Like, there's people out here who are just doing this shit way better than I am. Like, why should I be here? You know, they're doing the stuff that way more consistently than I could ever do, and pumping out stuff way higher quality that you know, I could probably pull off. But I think this video just kind of proves that, no, that's not true at all. You know, regardless of what you do, you know, what you make is, you know, that's your craft, that's your style, and I still think after all this time, I have a place somewhere on this platform, whether how small my channel is or how large it could possibly get. And going forward, I want to take my channel into a new direction that is less catered to the Isle and Path of Titans, because I can't lie, being in this frame of consecration of only covering these two games, it limits yourself quite a lot, and it can make you go kind of fucking insane. And I've seen so many creators just not knowing what the hell to do with their channels because they become jaded with the games for one reason or another, or just not knowing what kind of direction they want to go into, and it kind of hurts them in the long run, which really sucks because I know those people have endless amount of talents and endless amount of passion for other aspects they just don't know what to do with. I think it's everyone's worth to try and experiment with their channel if they really don't know what to do with it. And if the cause is you just really don't like the Isle and Path of Titans, you just feel super jaded and stuff, what's stopping you from fucking not paying attention to the games and just leaving them all together? It's not that hard, guys. Like, and this goes for people that aren't even creators as well. Just there's no reason to stick around and bitching and playing. You're just worsening yourself even more. If you really don't like these games, just fucking leave. It's not that hard. But as for me, I'm gonna keep doing YouTube. I'm gonna try and put this channel into a whole new direction. Hopefully it pans out well. I can give two shits of what kind of numbers pop out of my channel going forward, but I want to take a new direction and I want to experiment. I want to have fun. And the only thing that's just going to change is that the channel's just not going to be catered to the Isle and Path of Titans that much anymore. I just don't care about Path of Titans at all as a game. I just kind of let that go. And when it comes on with the Isle, I don't hate it at all. I'm not quitting it. That's just stupid. And Isle videos are just not going to fucking just dissipate. I'll get around to doing another one every so often, but I'm just going to have fun. We're just going to have fun with the channel going forward, and we'll see what happens. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video. I don't know how anyone even managed to go through this much time. This video took way longer than it really needed to, but I'm happy it's out, and I'm happy I'm going to get back into YouTube. It's going to be a great time, guys. So I hope all of you enjoy the ride. Come along with me on this new journey, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And the first time in a long time, I will see you all when the curtain calls. Goodbye, everyone.